The Rock has confirmed he will be at the Elimination Chamber. The location for next year's WrestleMania has been announced. And one WWE superstar has had their contract expired. Well, that SmackDown was something, wasn't it? Anybody else getting a little deja vu from last year's WrestleMania? You know, we have plans for Cody Rhodes. At least we kind of know the direction we're going in. And then here comes Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Just to screw them all up again. Well, on tonight's SmackDown, The Rock came back to do his best Shang Tsung impression. He wants your soul. Not your whole, your soul. More specifically, he wants Cody Rhodes' soul. What does this mean? No one knows. We don't know where this is going. Are we getting another corporate champion? Are we getting a Homelander Cody? Finally, the Homelander Cody. Are we just giving Cody something to rise up and fight against for WrestleMania? So after telling Cody he wants his soul, which we don't know what he wants to do with it, it might be the source of his power. It might be what he sold to, in fact, get a Martin Scorsese movie. But The Rock does give Cody a deadline on his answer, which he wants at the Elimination Chamber. Now, we don't know if this means The Rock's going to be getting into a match anytime soon. At a press conference after SmackDown, The Rock did say that the dynamic between him and Cody on screen, their on-screen personas, it doesn't need a match. It can feed into other storylines. So this could be like a Vince McMahon-esque type character that could be in the ear or could be the foil of the character of Cody Rhodes. Time will tell. But what does this mean for Cody's title match at WrestleMania? He is set to defend against the winner of the Elimination Chamber. And right now, we're all arguing over who's going to win that. But now we all have to argue about how The Rock is going to be involved. You, of course, have a couple superstars in that match that already have history with The Rock, with Seth Rollins, CM Punk, John Cena. All those guys have history with The Rock, especially Punk and Cena. But we don't know where this is going to lead for Mania, so we'll just have to wait and see. Now, The Rock not only wanted to pay the troll toll to get to that boy's soul, no, he wanted to announce that WrestleMania 42 is going to be in New Orleans, which, of course, was where tonight's SmackDown was held. So he got a great pop from the crowd, and now we know where next year's WrestleMania will be held. And in a press conference after SmackDown, The Rock actually did a shoot press conference. And it seems that since The Rock announced he was going to be at SmackDown so late into the week, there was no time to get wrestling media to this press conference. So they actually had legit local media from New Orleans show up to the press conference. And the only reason I can assume that is there was no on-screen wrestling questions. It was all very much like, what is WrestleMania going to do for our city here in Louisiana? Hey, Rock, what's your favorite meal here in Louisiana? Who's your favorite musician from Louisiana? But it seemed like the whole dynamic of Rock being here, aside from a weird angle with Cody Rhodes, was to announce WrestleMania at New Orleans, and it was to get press in the building to interview him about such a big story for their local media. In other news, the contract of Carmella has actually expired in WWE. This was confirmed by PW Nexus's Mass J and Fightful Select's Sean Ross Sapp. Now, we haven't seen Carmella since early 2023. She has been missing from our screens because she's been dealing with some injuries, as well as, being pregnant and being a mom now. But it seems that her contract has expired with WWE and she will no longer be with the company. Now, Carmella has been with the company since 2013, and she's had a great career. She was a former SmackDown Women's Champion. She was also Miss Money in the Bank. I believe she was the first Miss Money in the Bank. And she was also a WWE Women's Tag Team Champion with Zelina Vega. It always sucks when someone does leave the company, but we do want to wish Carmella well in her future. Now, getting on to tonight's SmackDown itself and a review of that, I can tell you right off the bat, aside from that Rock segment, this was a show to miss. Nothing really advanced, nothing happened on this SmackDown. It was basically like kind of watching a rerun of last week's SmackDown. We had Jimmy Uso get the surprise roll up on Drew McIntyre in our opening match. Drew was pissed off. I don't know. I'm kind of pissed off for him. Why is he losing right for the Elimination Chamber? But Drew ended up, getting the last laugh because he jumped Jimmy, beat his ass before it was all broken up. Then we had Solo getting to the arena, getting confronted by Jacob, just to show the tension right there. And we'll get to more of that later on in the main event. We had an actual great promo for Zelina Vega. It was actually really well done, really well produced. Kind of put her in this like cyberpunk, futuristic vibe on a green screen, but new character shift for Zelina, and hey, I'm all for it. Then we had a thrown together tag match with Miz and Carmelo going against R-Truth and LA Knight. Why is LA Knight involved in this feud? I don't know, but hey, I don't think he knows either. Basically, the whole story around the match was that Carmelo doesn't want to deal with The Miz, but Carmelo wants to prove that he's the best, so he was not tagging into The Miz throughout most of the match until the babyfaces were able to get the upper hand. But as that happened, LA Knight was attacked by Nakamura behind the ref's back, and that led to R-Truth taking a pin on an actual really cool double team maneuver from The Miz and Carmelo, where basically it was a skull-crushing finale into a first 48. Looked really sick. If they do make this into a tag team thing, I'm actually kind of happy because I'd like to see that move be used more. Next, we had Tiffany versus Candice LeRae. Before the match, Tiffany came out and just gave a really flat promo, building up to her tag match in Toronto with Trish Stratus going against Nia and Candice, and as well as looking at WrestleMania against Charlotte. It didn't really do anything for me. Nia and Candice came out. That didn't do anything for me. They had a match. I don't want to say it was bad. Don't want to say it was good, but they had a match, and it ended with Tiffany getting the pinfall, and then she got jumped by Nia and Candice after the match. And 2 hours later, Trish Stratus decided to come out and make the save, and then she got beat up. And then we had Nia try to do, which on paper sounds really cool. She took Tiffany and Trish, stacked them up, and she was going to do the Annihilator off the rope, squash them, and it looked bad. It looked real bad. Obviously Nia wants to keep everybody safe. She doesn't want to hurt anybody on purpose. But her trying to keep everybody safe meant that she had to really take a lot off the landing of that move, which meant there was really no impact. And I get it. You're not going to risk putting more impact on Trish than you need to. But I think that's a cool idea on paper, but execution-wise, it probably shouldn't have been done. Then we had Naomi taking on Liv, but before the match could even start, Liv and Raquel jumped Bianca and Naomi, and that was it. My guess is that was one of our matches that got cut for time for The Rock being at SmackDown. But again, this feud, I mean, really, I didn't want to see the match anyways. I'd rather just see the tag match, get the feud over with. But, hey, unfortunately, it was not the only tag match to have a no contest, and that would involve the men's tag team championships with DIY and Pretty Deadly, who were attacked by the Street Profits mid-match, and the match was thrown out, and then the Motor City Machine Guns came out. They got their asses beat by the Street Profits, which, hey, to all credit, the Street Profits need to look strong, and they looked really freaking dominant right here. So I'm actually happy for them, and they probably need the titles and to be taken into a whole nother direction than this current tag scene right now. That's the only team on SmackDown I can actually get behind and actually want to see at the moment. I have no interest in DIY. I have no interest in Motor City Machine Guns. Pretty Deadly, I don't really know if I do have interest in them because they're limited wins, limited on-screen time. I think they're a great comedy team when they need to be, but as far as a threat to the actual championships, no idea. After that, we had an interesting promo, to say the least, from Kevin Owens, where he wasn't in a car. He was standing outside next to a wall, telling Sammy, be careful what you wish for with this unsanctioned match that you challenged me to, and I accept. And of course, as he's accepting the match, he's taking his phone and basically putting it through the window that he's next to. And who do we see on the other side of that window? We see Sammy with his family. Just being a good old family, being a good old dad in his nice basketball shorts and oversized t-shirt. And here's Kevin outside his window being a big old creep. Then we got our main event where we had Damian Priest and Braun Strowman taking on Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa with Tama Tonga on the outside. It was a fine match. You basically dove into the story a little bit with Jacob and Solo kind of having their frustrations, and that's how the match actually ended. Jacob accidentally kicked Solo, and then that led to Damian Priest basically South of Heaven chokeslamming Solo and getting the victory, and that was it. That was SmackDown. Again, it was a show you can miss. Aside from the Rock and Cody stuff, there really nothing happened on this SmackDown. To be honest, I really don't know what to think after tonight's SmackDown. The Rock is just coming in to just leave us speechless. I don't know whether to be mad about this or happy about this. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this. So please, in the comments, tell me what you think about The Rock coming back and, wanting to basically change WrestleMania. As far as we know, we don't know. This could have been the direction all along. This could not really change much to what Triple H's direction already is. But all we know right now is The Rock will be at Elimination Chamber to confront Cody Rhodes about his soul, possibly his hole, and we'll be there to find out about every single bit of it. As always, thanks for watching the video, guys. Please like and subscribe, help grow the channel, and have a great weekend.